Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about GoCanvas and how you can use it to create forms for your contracting business to make things a little bit easier for you. To give you a little background on what GoCanvas is, it's just a platform, it's an online platform that allows you to create fillable forms like you might find on a website where there's drop down menus or you can put in different criteria. GoCanvas just allows you to create different types of forms, and I'm going to show you the forms that I created for my own business and how you can create forms for your business. So this is a very creative environment that you'll have to use GoCanvas in, and you'll understand once I show you how it works. And in the future, I'm going to make another video of how to actually make the forms. Today, I'm just going to show you the forms I have already made and how I use them in my business. So I'm going to go ahead here and just click log in. And here are my forms. So I'm going to go ahead, shrink this down a little bit, put me up in the top corner here. So GoCanvas calls these apps. And when you build these, you build them from the online platform. And it's really easy to build if you have a laptop computer. You can also build them from your phone, but I find it easier to build them on a computer. So you can see that I have several different things here. I have an estimate, 5-point change order, an invoice, an on-site change order, satisfaction of work form, and a service agreement form. Now, my service agreement has had the most revisions. That's why it's on version 12, because I use that all the time. Anytime we have a new client, we're going to do work for them, I typically use GoCanvas for smaller projects. On big projects, say projects over $1,000 or $2,000, it just depends on the client. I will typically write up a contract on my computer, print that out, and bring that and have it signed in person, or we can send it via DocuSign and they can e-sign it. But GoCanvas is really easy if you're just on the spot. It's just a quick, small job. This is just a way to cover your butt so nothing happens in the future. So let's go ahead and talk about the service agreement. So I'm going to pull that up here. So the service agreement. So I call this a work order agreement, and this just has some basic terms for all of my customers. So if they want to work for, if they want me to work for them, they need to sign this and follow what it says essentially. So let's just go ahead and read these one by one, and this will give you ideas of what you can put in your own service agreement. These have saved my butt many times, and I think by having this service agreement, it just creates transparency between you and your client. They know what you're going to offer them, and in return, they know what they're going to offer you. So this is a binding agreement, and they can sign it. So we'll go ahead and just read through them. So term number 1, a $100 deposit is required to be paid for scheduling the project. In the event the project is canceled, the deposit is non-refundable. This is huge. You might be getting 25 calls for estimates a week. And let's say you sit down and you're doing those estimates, you send out all 25, and 5 people come back and say, let's say 10 people come back and say yes. But then, by the time you can get to them, 5 people already had someone else do it, so you only got 5 jobs out of those 25. That's not good for you. That's wasting tons of time. So by creating an estimate, if they want to accept the estimate, make them pay a $100 deposit. And there's plenty of ways that they can pay. They can either pay through Zelle or through the Cash App or through Venmo. They're all instant money transfers. You don't have to go get a check. They don't have to drop anything off to you. It's just all digital. It's great. So my business is called Mobile Maintenance. So we're the contractor. And this says the undersigned understands that Mobile Maintenance, the contractor, will use the best industry practices to complete this project in an acceptable time frame and to be proven satisfactory by client. Anything not stated in this contract will need to be discussed with the contractor prior to the start of the project. So this is mainly just to keep me safe, because I've had some customers come back and say, you're not doing it the right way. I'm saying, well, I'm the professional. I do this every day, and this is how I do it. So that's why I say, an acceptable time frame, proven satisfactory, and using the best industry practices. Because our clients are not professionals. in our field. We're the professional. Okay, so let's go down to number 3. Customer agrees to pay the contractor for the services in accordance with the rates set out in this contract. They are to be paid upon receipt of the contractor's invoice. Invoices may be mailed, hand-delivered, or emailed. Huge right here, huge. Paid on receipt. You don't want to wait 15 days, 30 days, whatever those terms are. On receipt. Number 4, payment is due on receipt. Invoices paid unpaid for more than 15 calendar days after receipt will be marked past due and will bear an interest at the rate of 10% compounded per month, or $60, or the maximum amount required or allowed by law, whichever is higher, from the due date until paid. That last part, whichever is higher, it's huge, because some states allow you to charge 20%, 25%, 28%. And if you get a stickler client that really doesn't want to pay and you want to stick it to them, this clause will help you. Number 5, just again on payments, overdue payments will be applied firstly to accrued interest and secondly to the unpaid principal balance. That means they have to pay the interest off before they pay off the original balance. 6, this one has saved me. If a customer disputes any portion of an invoice, customer must notify contractor in writing, not text, email or handwritten letter or typed, whatever, within 5 calendar days of receiving the said invoice. If no such notification is given, the invoice will be deemed satisfactory. Any portion of an invoice which is not disputed shall be paid in accordance with this section. So that saves you, because sometimes customers will just nitpick every single part of your invoice apart. And it's ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, if you're an honest contractor and you're doing what you said you would do by an estimate, you have a written estimate, you do it, and they just aren't happy because they either want to cheat you out of some money or they just have higher than normal expectations, this will help you here. So, number 7, customer shall be responsible for the payment of any attorney fees, court costs, or other costs incurred by contractor in collection of delinquent accounts. You want to protect yourself and make sure you're not liable for that stuff. 8, contractor reserves the right to suspend provision of services if the payment of invoices is not current. So if you're doing work for somebody and you bill weekly, daily, whatever it is, and they don't pay and they want you to keep working, you can say, nope, I'm not going to keep working until you pay in full. Number 9 is my company, we bill everything in 15-minute intervals. So our hourly rate is billed in 15-minute intervals. We track all of our hours on an app. All of my employees have GPS location at the job site, so I know when they're there. I know what time they leave. So this is huge for my customers, because I've had people dispute that, and they're like, well, your guys weren't here. I'm like, well, actually they were, and I have GPS to prove it. So that's something that we use in our business, and as you grow your business, that will become more valuable to you, and as you get these other systems in place. 10, contractors' use of homeowners' power outlets for charging batteries and using other power equipment. I put that in there because one time I had a customer I worked for, and I don't know what was wrong with them, but they were like, you have to bring your own generator. And I was like, my own generator? We're just charging our hand tools and using hand tools. So I put that clause in there just to eliminate any of that in the future, so I won't have a crazy customer do that to me. 11, this is a toss-up. It's kind of your personal thoughts of what you want to do here. I put this in there so it just protects me in case I need it. I don't necessarily do this, but it's there. So if I furnish the materials, a 10% fee will be added on material balance to cover the credit card fees. Now, different industries, you can mark up materials more. You don't have to put this in there, but I did just because sometimes customers are like, well, you're charging me more than if I just went and bought them myself. And my reply to that is, well, yes, because I'm taking time out of my day, driving my vehicle, using my stuff to go get your materials. So I'm going to add a little bit extra on top. I'm carrying the balance on all of those materials for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. So I need some compensation for that. 12, this is a good way to keep transparency with your client. So it says contractor will be held responsible for any damages incurred by employees of contractor during work period and must have any damages repaired within 30 days of project completion. So this is explicitly stating I'm only going to repair things my employees damage, and I have 30 days to do so. Helps a lot. It's helped me a few times, actually. Any changes must be discussed by homeowner and contractor prior to start date or complete a signed change order request. So we'll talk about the change order another time because there's always changes to projects. Especially working with homeowners, they don't really know what they want all the time, and you can do your best to explain what they might want or give them every option, but I'm telling you, every single customer finds something that they want to change on the project at some point or another. So having a signed change order, priceless. Saves your butt every time. Contractor first estimates sent via text message, email, or print. So we'll submit them online through this GoCanvas app, or I'll just text them to them, whatever works. Just depends on how big the project is and how formal you are with the client. I mean, if we're doing a very small job where, we're just demolishing some tile flooring or something small like that, I'll just send them a text price. Like, okay, your price is going to be $500 to do that or whatever. Just stating that, saying that is your contract rate, and then I can attach in this form a picture of that. And then the undersigned understand to the best of my knowledge and agree to the terms stated above. So here's the rest of the form. So I created this part of the form. I wrote all the text, and then I created this part of the form. You can change this part to make it anything that you want. So I have two options here. I can either select hourly rate or I can select contract rate. So if we're going to be, say, demolishing that tile floor, I can say contract rate, and the contract amount is going to be $550. If I texted that to them, I can get a text, like take a screenshot of the text message on my phone and then attach it here. This other option that I have was estimate emailed with Wave. So we use Wave to process all of our estimates. So that's why I listed it as optional. So if I emailed it to them with Wave, I can check that instead of attaching a photo. Then I just print their name. So we'll just say this is Jeremy. The address is 123 Nowhere Street. And the signature line, huge. So on your mobile device, they can sign right here. Ding. Saving it, and boom, you are ready to go. Capture the signature, you know who they are, where they live, how much the dollar amount's going to be, hit next. And then you can email them a copy of it. And you'll get a copy of it, and it'll sync to your database online. So GoCanvas has an online database where it saves all the forms you've ever submitted, and you can go back and look for them, filter them and stuff so you can find them. So that's how you use GoCanvas to create a service agreement. So I'll just go ahead here and hit submit, hit enable, perfect. So that's GoCanvas, just the rundown of how to create a service agreement with it. And in the future, I'll go over some of these other things. But if you have any questions about the service agreement, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'll do my best to answer it. If you have any questions about how to use GoCanvas, I'd recommend going to their website. It's very user-friendly. It's a really good interface, and I found it super easy to make these forms. As long as you have the gist of what you want to accomplish, it's super easy to just drag and drop all of the elements in your form that you want and go from there. So hope that helped you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and look for more videos like this in the future.